friends, Sat Sri Akal. In this video, we will be driving over the Sinthan Pass and the Chattargala Pass via Bhadrava. This area very beautiful but visited by very few people. We chose this route as a way back from Kashmir to Ludhiana. But before we travel through this area, I request you to subscribe to my channel Grandpa on Wheels for more travel related videos. We three grandpas, Kuldeep Singh Sidhu, Harminder Singh Gill and myself started from Daksham Paradise Hotel, a very comfortable resort, early in the morning. The road up to the Sinthan Pass, just 30 kilometers from Daksham, is very good. We had covered only about 20 kilometers when we were stopped by the very fine view of a beautiful stream that flows from left to right under the road. Our next stop was due to the attraction of the trees with shining white, crooked stems and having yellowish leaves growing in abundance on the left side of the road. Soon we were able to see a big green board in midst of a clearance in the high mountains announcing our approaching the Sinthan Pass. The Sinthan Pass presents a very wide and beautiful view of a series of ridges placed almost parallel to one another. That vastness of these ridges presents a very amazing and spectacular sight. The pair of 23,500 feet high black and white peaks Nun and Kun, standing on the dividing line of Kashmir and Ladakh, that were visible from the Margan top, were also visible on the extreme left of this wide view. The sloping down, undulating meadows just across the Sinthan Pass are followed by dry and sandy hills with scanty vegetation for some distance. The road ahead of the Sinthan top is also quite good and wide for some distance, but after some time it is comparatively narrow, but the scenery all around the way remains very beautiful. When we had gone down quite a distance from the Sinthan Pass, we stopped at a wayside dhaba at Sinthan village to have breakfast of omelette with lavasa, the thin and soft blistered Kashmiri naan. Before reaching Bhadrava, we turned left and after going through Chinta Valley and covering a distance of about 30 kilometers from the main road, reached the Jai Valley. The Jai Valley is now being developed as a tourist spot in the Bhadrava area, which already has a very wide, green and beautiful meadow. Very attractive igloo-shaped huts have been constructed here for the tourists. There is also a forest rest house in the Jai Valley. The way back through the thick forest was very enchanting as the sun was going down and it was getting somewhat dark. The scene of the setting sun, as visible from a turn ahead of Chinta Valley, was very beautiful. Just after the sun had set, the new moon shining over the western horizon presented a very lovely picture, and we had to stop for some time looking at the wonderful scene. After setting of the sun, night driving accompanied by a light drizzle along the narrow hill road through thick forest was very enjoyable in its own sense. Soon, that is after covering the 30 odd kilometers in a little more than an hour, we started seeing the lights of Bhadrava town below. A very lovely view. We spent the night in the sleepy and unhappening sort of town Bhadrava and left the place at about 8 am. We had our breakfast, courtesy DFO Bhadrava, at a forest hut about 20 km on the road towards Chattargala Pass. After this place, the surroundings, especially the vegetation, started showing its beauty, indicating that we were approaching the pass. Chattargala Pass is situated at a distance of 35 km from Bhadrava. As we cross the Chattargala Pass, we find a totally dirt track in the name of road for a few kilometers. After that, there are some traces of an old road, but that is too much worse than the dirt track, full of potholes, water crossings, and big boulders on the road itself. But all along this road, there is very good scenic beauty, green meadows with their ups and downs have a beauty of their own. Within these meadows, we also find some shelters made by the nomadic shepherds, the Bakarwals and the Gujars. The pass itself is visible above from here, and this brown depression in the otherwise green on the adjoining higher slopes looks very beautiful. There are some remains of very big trees, so big that standing in one of them I looked too small. There are rotten remains of some fallen trees also, and according to the locals, these trees were destroyed by lightning strikes. This tough road continues for more than 20 kilometers, almost all of the steep slope down from the pass. Ahead of this, we find a wide valley with small agricultural fields along the sides of the Seva, a tributary of river Ravi. The famous Sarthal temple is visible above on the hill across the river on the left of the road. The terraced agricultural fields and meadows of Sarthal with sheep grazing on them look very beautiful. Ahead of Sarthal, we stopped to see the lake formed by the Seva 2 dam on left side of the road. We were almost at the end of our trip, and our Pajero was fully covered with mud now, and even its number plate was hardly visible. From here, we crossed the Atul Setu bridge on the Ravi River with the Ranjit Sagar Dam on the right. This marked our entry into Punjab, thus the end of our 10-day trip of offbeat Kashmir, during which we covered a distance of more than 2,000 kilometers and visited the Mughal Road, Yusmarg, Doodh Pathri, Aharbal Waterfall, Srinagar, Lolab Valley, Wular Lake, Gurez Valley, Vardhan Valley, Sinthan Pass, Bhadrava and Chattargala Pass.